Hi everyone, my name is Chanel and welcome to my channel Tricot Nord. Today I'm filming my second knitting podcast. I've been meaning to record this for the last couple of weeks, but I've been extremely busy with work and just life in general, so I finally have the time to sit down and record the podcast. As you can see, I finally finished my cardigan. It is the Limoncello Cardigan by Kutova Kika. This cardigan is knitted with the Cascade yarn 220. It's a worsted weight yarn. The pattern that I have is from the book of Knits to Wear by Kutova Kika. And I am just really happy that it's done. I still have the buttons to sew on, but all in all, it is finished. I did modify this cardigan with the button band and the length. So I cropped the length of the cardigan and I did a double knitted button band instead of a ribbed button band. I actually did the button band 3 times. I struggled a lot with it when I was doing it the ribbed way. It was just cinching in too tight. It wasn't comfortable. I feel like maybe I wasn't picking up enough stitches or the cast off method that I was using wasn't working. So after the second attempt with the ribbed button band, I decided just to do a double knitted button band, which is something I haven't done. So I had to watch a tutorial on YouTube about it, and I found one that was really great. I was able to do the Italian cast on for the beginning of the button band and follow along with the buttonholes and everything. My only issue with the tutorial that I was watching is that at the end of the button band, when you have to bind off, I struggled with the way that this person was explaining the Italian cast off method, and I ended up completely messing up the bind off. And then I ended up going to watch other videos about Italian cast off or bind off. Is it? Yeah, bind off. And I found one that was extremely clear, and I should have watched that one, but I was already in the process of binding off, so it's done. I'm not doing the button band a fourth time. I'm happy. I just need to sew on my buttons. I actually have my buttons. I've purchased them already. This is the one. I guess it's the Gutterman brand of buttons, and yeah, they're 20mm buttons, yellow, so that it matches. So I'm extremely excited to sew these on. I'm not sure if you could see the buttonholes, but I have 4, but I think I went a little too high. I probably should have only done 3 buttons because this buttonhole, I doubt I'll be using it. It's gonna be too tight. But I'm gonna show you some B-roll of me wearing the cardigan so that you get a feel of the length of it and what it looks like. But for my first ever cardigan, I'm extremely happy with the way that it turned out. Now we're going to be talking about my works in progress. I have quite a few on the needles at the moment. I think I'm going to start with my Ivy top by PetiteKnit. So let me show you where I'm at. So this is what it's looking like. I love this pattern. I love how easy it is. I love that it's just stockinette. I don't have to think about it. I love that it looks super classy. I find it almost gives off like the same vibes as the Sabai top that's extremely popular, which is like a super high boat neck style shirt. This is a pattern by PetiteKnit, and it is knitted in a BK weight. I'm using Cascade Ultra Pima cotton yarn, so it's 100% cotton, and it's in this nice deep brown. I'm pretty sure I'm using a US 6mm for this. So with the ivy top, you start in the round and you work shoulder increases, and you do some German short rows for some shaping. Then you work the back and the front separately, and then you end up joining everything in the round. So that's the stage I'm at. I'm in the round and I've already knit quite a few rows in the round. This is my go-to project for when I'm visiting with people, if I have a little bit of time at work in between my clients. I will knit a little bit on this, so because I don't have to keep track of anything, I'm just knitting until the length that I want. So it doesn't matter if I'm in the middle of the row, I could put it down. And if I'm in the car, I will knit this as well. So this is not my nighttime knitting, this is my on-the-go knitting. So it's going to take a little bit of time to finish this particular knit, but it is super cute and I'm extremely excited to have it in my wardrobe. So this bag, I made it with a free tutorial on Pinterest. It came with the measurements and the video to go along with it. So I made this cute little bucket bag for my knitting projects, and I actually made two. So that's gonna lead us into my other whip, since it's in my little project bag that I made, and it has strawberries and lemons, and it's all yellow checkered inside, and I think it's super cute. So I have here a Coulourwork sock, and it is from the book Sock Obsession by Summer Lee, and it's her new book that just came out this year. So this was supposed to be a 3-stranded Coulourwork sock, but I opted for 2 colors since it was my very first Coulourwork sock. And I am using 9-inch circular needles by Chiagu, and they are the size 2.75mm or a US 2. So this is what it's looking like. I'm not entirely sure how many rows I should be knitting for my foot size, because I don't know how to like put my foot in it to see, because I have to make an afterthought heel and I've only ever done a heel flap and gusset. So this is a completely new sock construction for me. So I'm excited, nervous to pick up stitches for the heel later, but I will definitely keep you guys posted. So I'm using 2 colors. This is the first color, the main color. It is almost like a greeny yellow brown color. It's just, yeah, I can't really decide what it's leaning more towards. And then I have just the white yarn. This yarn is from the same brand. It is the Cascade Heritage sock yarn, and it's 75% superwash merino and 25% nylon. I pretty much knit all of my socks with that specific brand of yarn. It's my favorite brand, and they have so many colors, and it's very soft. So yeah, so far this is my sock, and I'm hoping that the heel's gonna be okay and that everything's gonna fit my foot. Yeah, and I've been picking up my floats as well, because there's some rows that you have to use the same color like for 9 stitches, and ooh, I wouldn't want like a long float like that. So I've been picking them up. So I kind of want to show you guys the floats there, but I don't know how it's gonna show up on camera. Yeah, it's not focusing, but anyways, I'll keep you guys updated on that sock. I haven't touched it in a while, and I probably won't touch it because I have so many exciting projects on the go. My next project I haven't touched in a while. It is looking like this. So this is my Novice cardigan by PetiteKnit. It is knitted in 2 strands of mohair because it's her mohair edition. She has another Novice cardigan pattern and it looks like a chunkier yarn, but I wanted to have a double-stranded mohair cardigan and I'm in love. I'm so excited to pick this back up, and now that I'm done with my Limoncello cardigan, I think I'm gonna start knitting this cardigan again because I only have another inch or so of knitting before I can split for sleeves and then just continue working the body. So I'm really excited about that. So what's interesting about this cardigan is that the way that the increases are made up, it's 4 rows where like all you do is increases. And up until the point where I'm knitting this, I've never knit anything that needed so many increases within the same row. So it took a little while for me to understand the pattern. And I think it's called like a circular yoke. So any type of circular yoke, I'm pretty sure like all of the increases are on one specific row. So that was really interesting. And it was completely a new technique that I've never done before. So I'm just really excited about it. I used a German twisted cast on. That's my favorite cast on method so far. I've been really curious about the Italian cast on method. That's something that looks really good. It's it's fiddly, but it's simple. And I've done a little bit with my cardigan with the button band. I had to do an Italian cast on, and I really liked it. But I'm not sure how I would feel having to do so many stitches to cast on with that method, just because it's a little fiddly in the beginning. But yeah, this mohair is the Rico design mohair. I talked about it in my other podcast. But yeah, it's Rico design mohair. And I'm holding it double so. Yeah, so I'm using a 4mm needle for this project. And it's currently on stitch holders because I only had one pair of 4mm needles for my chiagus. So I recently went out and got myself another pair so that I can work on 2 projects at the same time without having to switch my needles, because I haven't touched this project in weeks. So I'm gonna make this a priority for sure because I love cardigans. They're so fun and easy to wear and style, and it's the perfect layering piece. So I'm really excited about that. Talking about project bags, this is another project bag that I made. It's self-drafted from a tutorial that I watched. It's full of cat hair and yarn and everything in between, but super cute and has drawstrings. So I have like a passion, I guess, for making project bags for my knitting. It's super fun. I have quite a few different styles of project bags that I make for myself. So sewing is definitely another passion of mine. It's not something that I plan on sharing too much on YouTube unless people are interested, but I'm still a beginner when it comes to sewing. So yeah. Okay, so this next whip is super exciting because it is a pattern that I really like. I really want the finished product, and it's perfect summer garment. I don't know if I'll be able to finish it this year. It's slow going, but I'll show you and then I'll tell you what it is. So This is what I have so far. This is the Fleur tee by, I think it's Wilbert. That's the name of the designer, Wilbert. And this is a bottom-up construction. So I was a little hesitant to do a bottom-up construction, but then I thought, like, there's no harm in trying. Like, it doesn't always have to be top-down. So I decided to get out of my comfort zone and do a bottom-up construction. This yarn is it's a yarn I've never used before. It's called BC Garn Alba 100% cotton. It's super nice. The color reminds me of the color that I'm knitting for my sock, my Coulourwork sock. They look identical, but this is a fingering weight yarn, and that's exactly what the pattern calls for, is a fingering weight yarn. I'm pretty sure she uses a cotton linen blend. The size needles are 2.75, which is the same needle size I'm using for my socks. So this is probably like 4 days worth of work. It's very slow going. It takes almost like 30 or 40 minutes just to do one round. It's pointelle lace style with eyelets. And yeah, I love it. I just can't wait to wear it. I'm hoping that I'll be done before fall. If I don't finish it, there's no harm. I'll just keep working on it. I'm at a point where it's like I feel like I should be finishing projects quicker, but then at the same time, I'm like, okay, well, I have a lot to do in a day. I have work to do, I have personal care, and at the end of the day, I probably have maybe 1 to 3 hours to knit. Maybe the weekends I have a little longer, and I have a lot of projects on the go. So I'm trying really hard not to put any pressure on myself to finish anything quickly. I just want it to be relaxing, and it's going to be done when it's done. Even if it's not in the right season, I don't care. I just want to take my time, and I don't want to put deadlines on any of the projects that I'm making. So that's all for my whips today. Now I'm going to be showing you the things that I've acquired, which I have a few things. One of my acquisitions was this yarn, new to me and super fun. I really like the texture. It's completely different texture from the Cascade Ultra Pima. I think the Ultra Pima from Cascade is mercerized cotton, and it has like a sheen to it, like it's shiny. This is very matte, and it feels matte as well. Like the texture is super cozy, so I'm really excited. The next acquisition is some yarn. This is from Lonely Oak Alpaca Farm, and I got this at my local farmers market. I've been going to my farmers market almost every Saturday, and I have not seen anyone sell yarn. And then a few weeks ago, I went and the alpaca farm had some yarn up for sale and some finished projects and stuff. So I went in and I decided to buy 2 skeins of their alpaca sock yarn. So it's a fingering weight yarn. It's 60% alpaca, 20% merino, and 20% nylon. It's 115 grams and 420 yards per skein. So I have 840 yards combined. I'm not sure if it's hand dyed or not. I tried to pick very similar colors. So I don't know what I'm going to be making. I don't have plans for this yarn. I am either going to make a top, I'm going to make maybe socks or mitts or a hat or something. I haven't decided. I'm going to wait a while. I'm going to finish some other whips and then wait to see what kind of inspiration brings up. But if anybody has any suggestions, I would prefer to knit a top I'm okay with either knitting something where I have to hold a double, but if I hold a double, I only have 420 yards. Yeah, yards. But if I hold it single as a fingering weight yarn, I would have 840 yards. And I don't mind if things are cropped. I don't mind if they're like t-shirt length or tank top length, but ideally I think I would want to knit a top with this instead of socks because I have a lot of sock yarn and this is just such a pretty blue. Um, but yeah, if you guys have any pattern recommendations, you can drop them in the comments and I'm gonna go check them out for this yarn specifically. And in case it is hand dyed, I thought that I would alternate skeins quite often in the project that I'm working on, just in case, because I don't want to see like different bands of coloring within the yarn. And if I do end up knitting something and it doesn't look right, I would definitely probably just frog it and start a new project with it. So the last thing that I acquired was this knitting book. This is Math for Knitters by Kate Atherley. I've skimmed through it, but I haven't fully read it. But it's really interesting because in this book, she explains a lot of different topics about knitting and gauge and measurements and just all the good stuff. So once I read a little bit more into it, I might do a review. I might actually make a separate video about all of my knitting books because I have, I think, 6 or 7 knitting books um, that I could probably talk about, and so that people can purchase them if they feel like it, because some are pattern books, some are books on techniques, and then Math for Knitters, which is a little bit more in depth about knitting and gauge and measurements and stuff like that. So I'm hoping that the information in this book is going to help with my future projects because I really want to get a lot better with my knitting. And I know that it's going to take some time to figure out the whole knitting thing. I'm so hard on myself when it comes to my projects. I have to keep reminding myself that it's only been a year. I need to relax. So yeah, Math for Knitters. This is my last acquisition. So that's everything that I have for you today. Thank you so much for watching, and a special thank you for everyone who has subscribed, liked, and or commented on one of my videos. It means so much to me, and I'm just very grateful to be here, being able to share what I'm knitting and hopefully inspire other people to start knitting and or to know what their next pattern is going to be. So I hope to see you guys next time. Take care. Bye.